and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. We're back for another episode of Tapping Tuesday. This is Dawn. So happy you're joining in today. And I thought today we would do a little tapping demonstration around getting triggered. So we're all, here, we're all on this earth, and it's human to have negative emotions, to get triggered from time to time. However, how long we stay in that triggered mode is really up to us, right? I can't remember who said it, but they say, like pain is part of the human experience, but suffering is optional. So it's the same thing when we get triggered. It's going to happen from time to time. For me personally, last week it was doing a gastroenterology medical test that lasted 2 days, and it was super uncomfortable. I had this little catheter tube up my nose and down into my throat, into my esophagus, and it stayed there for 48 hours. It's called a 48-hour impedance pH study test, and I didn't get the results back for a few weeks, but being triggered like that just reminded me of growing up and being, such an empath that I feel like taking on other people's energies. And I feel for me that led to much dis-ease in my body growing up and dealing with medical conditions. And so that really triggered me into this space of, why me? Why does this keep happening? Why do I have to keep doing these tests? I'm always going to be in this, medical loop, hamster wheel. Those were the thoughts that were coming to me. And I know I've made a lot of strides and I've done a lot of self-healing with, the mind-body connection, and with reaching out to other holistic practitioners such as myself in other fields and other expertises and plant medicine and a variety of different things. And so, but sometimes, you do need the Western medical system, and but I got triggered. So whatever it is in your life that you've been recently triggered by, or perhaps there's something that happened last month or last year that you still feel like you're holding on to, or that you're still in that victim mode, that you don't have a choice, that you don't have control. So just go ahead and think of whatever that is for you. And so we'll just start tapping, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, just kind of measure where you were. So when I was feeling triggered, it was pretty high for me. It was probably like a 9. I went down that rabbit hole, but then I got myself out of it more quickly than I would have in the past without the tapping tools. So, and cutting cords too is another good one. And just staying grounded. So whatever it is in your mind, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be a small thing. Actually, since this is a general demonstration, I recommend choosing something maybe that's not so triggering, but something that's sort of medium to low. Unless we're working one-on-one. So go ahead and think about that thing that triggers you, and just have it in your mind. And you can either say those words, or you can, follow along and just think about in your mind what it is your specific trigger is, and it should still work. So let's start with the cry check point. So take a deep breath. Okay, starting on the cry check point. Even though I got triggered last week, and it was pretty intense, and it's been a while that I've been triggered like that, I deeply and completely honor and accept myself. Even though I got triggered with this medical thing, and I went down that rabbit hole of victimhood, and that what's next, and things are always going to be crazy health-wise. And I know that wasn't healthy for me, but I nipped it in the bud, and I got out of it. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I got triggered, and perhaps I stayed in it longer than I wanted to. Moving forward, if it happens again, or when it happens again, because I'm human and it's gonna happen, I remember that I have tools now. I remember that there is a better way of responding and reacting to this trigger. And I choose to remember to use my tools. And I deeply and completely honor and accept myself. Okay, inside the eyebrow, I got triggered. Side of the eye, I got really triggered when this happened. Under the eye, and it feels like it's been a while that I got triggered like that. Under the nose, and that's a good thing because I've been doing so much good self-work. Chin point and inner work. Collarbone, because without this inner work, I would probably be triggered more often. Under the arm, but I was reminded what it felt like to really feel triggered. Under the chest, and it really sucked. Wrist points, and I went down that rabbit hole of why me and what's next in my health journey. Top of the head, and even though I know it wasn't healthy for me, inside the eyebrow, contrast is good. Side of the eye, because it reminds me how far I've come. Under the eye, and it reminds me that I'm only human with human emotions and experiences. Under the nose, and now I have these tools to help me through future triggers. Chin point, and even though I may get triggered from time to time, collarbone, I now feel more comfortable that I can handle it. Under the arm, I feel more safe that whatever life throws my way, I'll be okay. Under the chest, even if it sucks for a few hours or a few days or a few weeks, it will get better. Wrist points, and moving forward, when I get triggered again, I choose to get out of it more quickly. Top of the head, I choose to move into appreciation and gratitude. Inside the eyebrow, I choose to continue to do the work. Side of the eye, I choose to distance myself from the chaos of the world and what's going on around me. Under the eye, and I choose to focus on my inner healing. Under the nose, because my inner healing helps to heal on a conscious and unconscious level. Chin point, and that has a positive ripple effect to my community, those around me, and the universe in general. Collarbone, so doing the inner work is not selfish. Under the arm, because it's helping all of humanity. Under the chest, so I choose to stay positive. Wrist points, I choose to focus on what's good and joyful in my life. Top of the head, even if it's just to appreciate a bird or a sound. Inside the eyebrow, or putting my feet in the grass. Side of the eye, or connecting with nature. Under the eye, I choose to be more grounded. Under the nose, I choose to be more present. Chin point, and I choose to be happy and healthy and thriving. Collarbone, I choose to be me. Under the arm, I choose to be authentic. Under the chest, I choose to give myself a break. Wrist points, I choose to smile. Top of the head, and I choose to be authentic. Okay, take a deep breath. So hopefully that helped, and you can come back to this video anytime that you're feeling triggered or you need to release those triggers, and have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day.